Israel is expanding its military operation into Gaza following the atrocities Hamas committed against Israelis October 7th. And one man who spent a lot of years in Illinois, now lives in Florida, says his daughter, a U.S. citizen, and her husband and their kids were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they are now stuck in Gaza. John Rauschenberger is with us now to talk more about their plight and trying to safely get them home. John, thank you. I've been hearing your story. I was actually listening to WGN Radio and heard you talking to Lisa Dent last week, and I'm excited that you're on with us, and I hope that this helps to get your message out. Tell me about Emily, your daughter, your grandkids, and your son-in-law, why they were in Gaza a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Marni, thank you for this opportunity to plead the case and put the spotlight on 500 Americans who are stuck at the Gaza border trying to escape into Egypt. My daughter is a woman of the world. She's traveled all over Asia, Southeast Asia, Europe, the Middle East. She took a position in the UK 15 years ago, met her husband. She got a PhD in international education. And her husband is a fifth generation, his family's fifth generation olive tree farmers in the southeast corner of Gaza. They went for a quick 1-week vacation visit because his ailing 87-year-old mother was in poor health, and they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time when this broke out.
So now they are trapped. They're in southern Gaza, and they have tried to get out to no avail. How often are you hearing from Emily right now, John?
We were talking to them at least once a day. It was always spotty. But when the incursion began with the IDF, and when Israel forces invaded Gaza a 3 days ago, there's been a blackout on the communications, although there's been some pressure put on by the UN and the US to open up some communications. We've had one 3-minute call now in three days. I talked briefly with my daughter and my oldest granddaughter. The situation's gone from bad to worse. Prior to now, they've been able to source food and water, but now it's scarce. And I'm just petrified, scared to death. We're going into the 4th week of this situation, and the odds are starting to work against them. There's 500 Americans sheltering near the Rafah border, and we're pleading for our government to put something together so that they can escape through the Rafah border into Egypt. That's what we're asking for. We totally support Israel's eradicating the horrific things Hamas did. But down there at the southern border, Hamas is not walking around with AK-47s. They have not been stopped in going to the border. Twice they went and stood outside the border for 10 hours, only to have the border not open. So I'm here pleading for 500 Americans and other foreign nationals, which includes obviously my daughter, her husband, and my 5 grandkids. What do we need to do to get Secretary of State Blinken and President Biden to open up that border into Egypt? And here's Egypt, a country that's been a good neighbor to Israel and has received foreign aid and military aid from the U.S. for years. What do we need to do to get these 500 people who were there for no fault of their own, humanitarian people, doctors, people who are visiting family? Just we're reaching out to everybody. We've got a family battle cry, if I will. We're all in till they're all out. And we have a large family. And my sister's on with NPR this morning out in Tucson. I've got a son in D.C. We've contacted every one of our state reps and our senators. What do we need to do to get these 500 Americans out safely?
Yeah, all in until they're all out. John, I only have a couple of seconds left, but I know you were able to speak to your grandkids, the older ones. What do you tell them in a situation such as this?
Their mother is steadfast, strong, and steely, and she's very positive. And, you know, kids reflect their parents. So I'm telling them to be good, listen to mom and dad. And I told them to make an early Christmas list. And they could each put 3 things on the Christmas list. And my daughter said that kept them busy for 3 days, arguing and debating what they should all ask for. So I'm just asking them to, you know, listen and follow mom and dad. And my daughter said they're petrified at night because of the rockets and missiles going overhead. And they're just great kids because they reflect their mother. And again, I'm very, very fortunate to have my daughter, who's, as I said, steely, steadfast, pragmatic, but I'm scared to death right now.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.